go back to your slides. On your number 4, could you share with at least my office the raw data
Yes,
that was
absolutely.
used to create this set?
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
Number 2, and this is a this data set right here is corrected for inflation.
No, this is raw dollars. This is unadjusted for inflation. We provide. There's actually a rider in the Appropriations Act that requires us to produce a whole bunch of charts on this, and so there's a in our fiscal transparency reports we provide this information and put in an adjustment for inflation in there.
Okay. So I think it would have been helpful for us to have the inflation adjusted chart, given that I think inflation has dominated our discussions for the past 4 years pretty heavily. And I think that's what some of the schools are screaming about, that, sort of to Mary's point, is that the schools, I think, are not only saying that what they're saying is not only are they not getting the actual 15,000, but that 15,000 is not really 15,000 in terms of yesterday's dollars. That it is not an actual $5,000 increase from 2010 era. That, because if you take a look at national data, the nationwide average spending in K through 12 went up by the same amount, right? So chart 4, or page 4, that's not in a vacuum, right? So that is in a system, in a evolving dynamic system where every state in the nation is making these exact same increases across their systems as well, correct?
I think generally correct. I mean, there's some states that have been increasing spending at a higher rate. Some states have been increasing spending at a lower rate. So but
on
yes,
average.
Yeah, I think I would completely agree directionally.
So whatever increases, large or small, that we provided for schools, whatever increases we provided for teacher pay, that's not in a vacuum. So if Texas teachers were already paid a lower amount than the national average, and the entire nation increased their teacher pay at the same time, Texas didn't really move their teacher pay up. They just adjusted it to the rest of the nation. And so whenever people present slide 4, this is the same concern that I've had since the very beginning, since like the first session that I attended, that I called Governor Perry out on presenting this chart in this way, right? Is one, that it does not adjust for inflation, and right now we know that a huge chunk of this increase is just barely accounting for inflation itself. But 2, like you're looking at this like it's in a total vacuum. That you're saying, and I think what the point of this chart is, you're saying the schools have enough. Everything is fine. What's budgeted in HB1 is perfectly fine. When at home, our school districts are screaming their heads off. They're telling us that they're hanging on by their fingernails onto the cliff. And you're saying everything is fine, they'll be okay. And I'm just thinking that's a dangerous thing to say. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, because Republican area schools will be affected by this just the same. So it's not a question. I'm just, as a general comment to slide 4, to say that, hey, everything is fine, we have enough. I mean, like, look at Texas in comparison to other states. Right, Texas, even by your very generous chart, okay, let's go by that. You're 15. In our surrounding areas, our competitors, California is 18,000, New York is 29,000, Oregon 20.7, Washington 19.4, North Dakota 18.5, Kansas 16.6. Right? Even that generous slide 4, when you take a look at it and compare it to what the rest of the country is doing, even states with similar demographics, we are way behind. And to say that that is okay, that everything is fine. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Representative Walling.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.